Okay. Welcome to Altitude Esports. I'm Jerry.
I'm Bear.
We are going to be your casters tonight, along with analysts Little Boy and Stonewall. Production by Grimy. So the game is starting now. We're going into Busan, which is our map pool this week is Busan, Horizon Lunar Colony, Hollywood, I believe Dorado, and Lijiang. And Toronto, they're looking very good right now. They're one of the top teams in the East, which is a very difficult conference. Vancouver's been getting better wins than you'd expect. Pacific teams have not exactly been the top of the league lately. The top Pacific team from last year has a losing record right now.
Ready for battle.
Now, you have to think, looking at the Toronto lineup right now, that they're going to be swapping. Altitude Esports, I'm Jerry. It should just be a brawl mirror. Spearmint is opting for the Moira right now on spawn, but that might change. Okay, so it will not be a mirror. There will be an Ana instead of a Moira for Toronto. Toronto, of course, has Mockingbird, the GM Ana player. And over on Vancouver's side, they have the Diva instead of Toronto's playing Ryan's Zarya. Start the fight off. Cream Lord Ben gets picked. And Wayward's moving forward, but he's very low. Cookie is freezing. He's freezing himself on point. Omega is on a really good flank. He gets walled off, and now Cookie should go down to this, yeah. And once Juice dies, you have to think this fight is over. It's just clean up on Ryan and Gankro. Oh, Juice is alive, though. No, they're going to back off. That was a very poor engage from Toronto. Yeah. Coming into this fight, obviously, as you'd expect, the winning team has the ult advantage, but it's not as much as you'd think. They have the Shatter, and they have the Coalescence up on Vancouver's side. Of course, Toronto takes the far right rotation. The early Deadeye from Juice gets walled off. Wayward and Ryan are trying to get him around it, but it will find no value, and he has to cancel it. He does not even get the shield break. Omega's gets far more value and kills off Cookie Breed. And now with Wayward Wall, you have to think this is yet another one fight. A massive anti from Mockingbird, but it's just going to end the fight. And now all Toronto can do is try to not get staggered. It's really... That was just poorly played from Toronto.
Toronto almost has 5 ults, so Juice uses High Noon somewhere, but I didn't see it get anything. I don't know what you think they're going to do to pull this around, but it's not really looking well for them.
It's not, but it's 5 ults versus 5 ults, and the only one down is the Deadeye, which obviously is not the most impactful ultimate, as we saw. Oh, that's not good. Okay.
Grab Blizzard.
Grab
and Bomb.
Blizzard. Bomb comes out.
And Coalescence.
Still only 1 kill from Vancouver and from Toronto. Actually, Wayward blocks the Shatter and kills Hawk.
No one's really using these ults very well.
Both healers are anti. They're trying to kill Spearmint here. Spearmint is very low, but is still alive. Heals back up. Thanks to Ben, but Ben is now dead, and that should be it. Yeah, that's it. Toronto will retake, but at 99.99, you would have to think that they're not going to be able to hold this.
Yeah, that took them a very long time to finally cap the point, but they still have... Well, they got mailed still, and they almost have High Noon, and they have Shatter. So
yeah, it is very impressive. They used both of those. They used both Shatter and Blizzard in that fight, and they built on that. So really, Vancouver's sticking around on that point. They must have thought it was winnable, because that really, if Toronto is able to pull this back, these ults are going to be what does it. And with Hawk going down, this is the perfect opportunity. Cookies.
Oh, the blizzard's been eaten!
Oh, the blizzard was eaten and Wayward Shatter finds nothing. He does go low, but he is healed up. And really, again, it's another retreat from Vancouver. Oh, that's a good pick on the exit by Juice, but now the ults are looking a lot more even.
Yeah.
Toronto has 4, but Vancouver has 2 and is coming up on 2 more. So it
Toronto
depends.
almost has 5.
Yeah.
But as we've been seeing, they haven't really been using their ults very well. No one's really been going off of them.
That's very good Blizzard counter by Toronto. And that's a huge grab, and that should be the fight. And that is a waste of 2 very impactful ultimates in the Blizzard and Coalescence by Vancouver. And now, Toronto's pulled it into 1-fight territory with just a Shatter up for them, and they kill off Hawk on the exit. That is going to be huge. And if they can get this D-Mech onto the Diva, which they cannot, Wayward Shatter could win them the game here. However, we do have Omega trying to touch the point. Omega does touch the point, as does Ben. And Hawk is shattered alone. Ben goes down, and somehow Toronto has pulled this back. And now it's just Spearmint and Omega alone on the point. And that is it. Toronto has brought it back, and I'm not entirely sure how.
It was very interesting fights from both sides. Maybe they're just getting warmed up, though.
Yeah, we have seen both teams play much more coordinated in the past. Really, though, you have to think it's Vancouver taking long, drawn-out fights when they need to reset that's killing them. You have things like supports getting picked off up to 30 seconds after they've really lost the fight. And that's just killing them. They had 99-0 lead and they lost it. And really, that's what you never want to see.
Yeah.
However, on Mecha Base is a very Diva-favored map, and Ryan has not played Diva yet, so we really should see Vancouver take this if there's any part of the map that they can. Wayward gets bubbled and Hawk goes down immediately. Antied, frozen, stunned, everything on him, and Misled Elf goes down. That is going to be the first capture for Toronto. You can see Juice already thinking of going to point. And they are playing so far forward, and they're going to get Omega off of this, I think.
I mean, they gotta play aggressive with the Zarya if they're not gonna run Diva.
No.
Oh, but they get wall. Oh my.
Aggro.
I take back what I
Juice is
said.
alone on point. Now Mockingbird has joined them, but they're just going to back. They only got 9% off of that. That's just sloppy play.
They got overconfident and obviously were killed for it.
Mm-hmm. They're trying too hard to capitalize on Mockingbird's nades. And while they are really good nades, you can't be doing that. The Deadeye by Omega finds nothing, not even shield break here, as he just seems to let it off into what looked like a Zarya bubble. And Toronto is rotating far left side, and Vancouver does not know yet. Now they know, and Hawk got very low but got healed up. But now Wayward has the nano, and really all you have to worry about if you're Toronto here is Hawk Shatter, which gets completely blocked by a Zarya bubble, but Wayward kept up by the beat. They are investing heavy into this. Wayward Shatter finds nothing. Both teams use Blizzard. Misled Elf and Juice go down on the DPS trait. Cookie Breed is frozen. Ryan is on point alone in the 1v4. Should not have been there. Wayward kills Omega on his own, except Toronto still loses the fight. The exact same mistakes that we saw Vancouver make last round, we're now seeing Toronto make. They have players still fighting this, and this has to just be inexperience.
Yeah, they should have hard reset a long time ago.
Oh, yeah. Genkro and Cookie Breed died way too late.
Yeah, because now Vancouver was able to get ult off of that, and they're up in ult economy.
Not only get ult off of that, they killed. Oh, Ryan's grab gets eaten. Wayward goes down. However, Vancouver does have the kills. Oh no. This could be it. It looks to be a 3-on-3 on point. But a Nano Zarya is going to chew through this team that does not have their Ryan yet. Ryan is churning out so much damage, even with the Nano wearing off. And Wayward has another Shatter. If they're going to win this fight, it's off that massive 2-man Shatter, and they've got to kill the Lucio, or at least the Baby Diva off this. Oh my god. A huge clutch, specifically from Misled Elf, freezing Wayward and then getting 2 final blows to take the round. That should have went so much differently for Toronto, but they lose the round holding the Blizzard.
Yeah, Toronto did not play that well at all. Vancouver is able to build their ults off really fast, and the Yeeches ate pretty much any ult that was thrown, both last round and this round.
I'm not entirely sure on this, but it looked to me like Yeetris has eaten 2 Gravs and a Blizzard, and now we see Ryan swap off the Zarya, and even, I know you guys can't see this, but in-match chat complimenting Yeetris on the eats. However, this is a stage where Widowmaker gets played even when Widowmaker is not good at all. And we have Juice, one of the top Widowmakers in the league, who was, I believe, 2nd place in the Widowmaker 1v1. He will be playing it, and there's really nothing to contest him. There's no Ana. All there is really Yeetris' Diva. And Yeetris has been very good, except you can't do it all on your own. And there goes Hawk, and you have to think with Yeetris being unable to find or pressure Juice and getting frozen, that this has got to be a Vancouver fight. On that note, however, Omega takes down Mockingbird. But they pin Yeetris, Yeetris is DMAC'd, and they kill Omega. And now, this should be it. Toronto has very low healing, but they're just brawling it out better. However, Ryan's Diva has looked very good. Wayward is absolutely on 1 health, and a clutch headshot by Juice takes care of Hawk before he can kill Wayward. If he doesn't get that, that fight could have gone a very different way. And now the massive stagger kills coming off of Cookie Breed's wall. Toronto has all 6 ults. For some reason, Vancouver is now playing Tracer. I could assume it's trying to challenge Juice's Widow, who is in a very weird position.
Yeah,
looking for flanked by the coast. That's going to be very vulnerable. If he does not get a kill off 1 shot, Omega is going to be on him, and he wisely retreats. Wayward hits a massive 5-man Shatter, and that is another fight in the books. They might even be able to take... No, they're not able to. Supports are both low, but they both escape. And now, still somehow, after committing 2 ults in that, Toronto is still in good ultimate standing.
Toronto has learned from their mistakes the last round, and they are playing very well this round.
Yeah, I have to think that letting Juice play his comfort picks and having Ryan on the Diva is helping them out a lot.
Yeah.
Now here comes a Blizzard that catches 2, but Juice, with a kill on both supports, even keeps Wayward alive, who was frozen and walled off in a Blizzard. And Wayward kills Hawk, Ryan kills Misled Elf, Yeetris goes off the map, and Cookie gets Omega. And now we're into last fight territory with a 99, or nearly 99-0 lead for Toronto. And really, it's finally good ultimate territory for Vancouver, but the Blizzard just could shut it all down. The ultimate, so powerful. Omega is coming to the test. Oh, that is a misplay. Hawk caught out, gets shattered. Somehow Vancouver retakes the point in all this chaos, but it does not look like it will matter. Oh, Yeetris. 3-man bomb that somehow seems like it could pull it back. It's a 2 versus 3 on point, and yeah, now in favor of Vancouver. A wise reset by Toronto and Juice swapping off to McCree, probably to counter Omega. I can honestly not see Omega staying on this hero after he uses his Pulse Bomb.
Omega's really only gotten 1 pick from what I've seen, at least on Juice, if that was the reason why he switched to Tracer.
Oh, oh! Wayward gets a
Okay,
massive
wow, never
shatter,
mind. Omega's popping
Omega
off.
4-5 wins this fight, proving us wrong.
Yep.
Ryan is trying to get out, will not make it. Will get demaxed, and I doubt he is killed by Spearmint. Possibly the wrong choice, but since he just used Bomb, he could have just went into spawn and swapped heroes and gotten neck back. Really now, Misled Elf has the Blizzard, and Toronto has nothing except nearing a Nano.
Nano.
So, unless Misled Elf... Oh, Hawk is separated. Hawk should die to this. All of Toronto is caught in this Blizzard, but they have 2 picks. So it comes down to what... Oh, Omega gets 2 picks, and Ben kills Genkro. Beatrice is DMAC. Cookie Breed is killed by Beatrice in Baby Diva form. Ryan is dead behind point. Juice gets a kill with the Deadeye, and now it's just become a straight-out brawl. It's a 3-on-3 on point. Toronto will touch long enough to trigger overtime. Wayward masterfully tilts his shield to kill Omega with his own pulse bomb. Ryan is back on the Hammond, and Toronto flips this. A very good beat by Ben, except if they don't capitalize on it now, there's going to be one of their own by Toronto. Toronto, Shatter invested, Blizzard invested, and that should be the map. With Genkro being able to have a celebratory beat and Wayward even getting to emote on point, that was, I'll be honest, one hell of a map.
Yeah. I, for a second, thought Vancouver was going to win, and then all of a sudden, people started dying out of nowhere. I don't know. I don't know how to react to this. People are coming up with crazy plays, and
this play of the game, we get to see exactly from Spearmint's perspective how Toronto messed up. Really just assists, but it's a very good POV of what happened, at least. Even Spearmint in match chat knows. But
I feel like the player that played the best that round was the Yeetress. He popped off and ate nearly 3 ults, maybe even more. They got the kills they needed. They peeled for the people that need to be peeled for, and they pushed when it was necessary, except for sometimes.
Provided
but
pressure on Juice as well.
Yes.
Forced Ryan to swap off his comfort pick Zarya, which not many teams have been able to do. When Toronto's really rolling, it's when they're playing that Ryan Zarya. And the thing is, if you get down to Toronto early, they will continue to kill you, because as soon as Mockingbird comes out, Mockingbird being their GM support player, they have a GM main tank monster who can come in over Wayward and just continue the slaughter at main tank that we've been seeing. Really, it's... The off-tank battle has favored Yeetress so heavily, but at main tank, Wayward is making up for it.
Yeah. He has been building his shatter really fast, and his whole team has been able to play around that.
We see lots of swaps from Toronto to some of their newer players, perhaps. We see Cookie Breed come out for Allfire, who they recently actually picked up from Florida Recall. We see Danny come in, who they recently picked up from Dallas. He will, of course, be playing the Ana. And then Ruka, their main support, who is very solid at that position. Juice, Ryan, and Wayward all staying in. Wayward staying in surprises me, because this means that now either Monster will only get 1 map, or Mockingbird will get none. So Toronto has the ability to run one of 2 GMs here and runs neither. The map will be Horizon Lunar Colony. Vancouver will be defending first, actually. They swapped it and then swapped it again. And really, Horizon is a map that comes down to what weird compositions can you run well. Last week, we saw a streamed match, Tokyo Ghouls, win the map after running things like Orisa Hammond and Roadhog Diva.
Wow.
Yeah, the map has been very open.
I have never
Personally,
seen
even
that.
in my team scrims, we've been running Chengdu Hunters, Ham and Diva comps. We've seen Double Shield Junkrat. Really, anything goes on this map.
I even see some people just pull out double hit scan and hold a hard defense, or even on offense, they'll stay in the back and try to pick off people from the far back.
Mm-hmm. And with All Fire coming in over Cookie Breed, that really signals that they do not want to play the Mei.
Probably.
So we could see a teleporter strat. He could be in for Junkrat on defense, which is honestly a very good strat, especially on point A. Juice may even get to show some Ash, which is a very unorthodox pick, but on point B Horizon, maybe one of the best points in the game for it. However, on defense, we're about to see Torbjorn Junkrat, which they seem to be staying on. Vancouver's coming out of spawn on Torbjorn Junkrat with the rest of the team playing Brawl. However, in spawn, Toronto is showing a Symmetra teleporter strat and Juice on Sombra. I would be very surprised if he sticks with this once he sees what they're running, but it is possible. I also sadly doubt we will see more of the Ryan Hammond. Yeah, Ryan swaps back to Diva, and Juice seems to be staying on the Sombra.
Who do you think has the advantage over these comps?
Well, with Juice on the Sombra, okay, Juice is just scouting. The rest of the team is sitting behind, waiting for Juice to tell them what is being run. Juice swaps back. They swap to Hanzo Mei. That is a very wise play. The Diva will be very good against this, except Wayward has to play so safe. Junkrat and Torbjorn can shred his shield so fast. And then you combine that with things like a Reinhardt swinging on him. And there we go. Danny is already dead. Ruka on half HP. All Fire dead. Juice gets healed up, but at possibly the cost of Wayward's life. Wayward is frozen, counter-pinned, knocked down. Ryan is trying to just escape with his mech. Juice taken down, Ruka taken down. They do get Misled Elf on the exit, but at this point, Hawk already has a shatter. Misled Elf already 60 to a Riptire. They did not kill the turret at all, and really no ult charge gained on Toronto's side for anyone but Ruka. Oh, there will be a pause as Wayward leaves the game.
Pause?
Yes, the pause is not happening. Sarth appeared to be a little preoccupied.
From what we've seen, how can Toronto turn this around? Because they tried going that way before and it didn't work.
Well, first of all, you have such spammable projectile damage, like the Mei right click, which has recently been buffed, and Juice on the Hanzo. But the turret's not dying. The turret has only been repositioned once, and that reposition was willingly by Omega between fights. It has not died. Ryan still on 40% ult charge, All Fire on 25, Juice on 45, Danny on 20, which is awful. I mean, I know he died first fight, and with Wayward getting DC'd, which is unfortunate. We saw it last week in the streamed Tokyo game of how, even though Tokyo was dominant the entire rest of the game, they still lost the map because of one player DCing. And with how Toronto looks to be performing not exactly well right now, that could hurt them even more. the only ultimate that any team has right now, Hawk, obviously, very close to a Shatter. Ruka already has Nano. So really...
Oh, sorry.
Really, Hawk can just... It looks to be Toronto taking a right stairs approach, which is not uncommon. That's what most teams do. They will be going out into space, which is very uncommon. And if we see that, it may only be until Wayward comes back. Yeah, Wayward is back. The turret is dead. If they're going to press, now is the time. But no, they actually want to fight in space. And this is the most Toronto Deviant thing I have ever seen. They destroy the trap. Oh no. 4-man shatter by Hawk leads to Misled Elf charging his ultimate. Wayward is dead, as is Misled Elf, but so is Allfire, Ruka, and Danny from Toronto's side. Juice and Danny electing to just go off the map. And really, there's not much Toronto seems to be doing right. There's no reason for them to take the space approach. If anything, what they should be doing right now is 2 respawns are coming back. If they speed left, they may be able to kill them. Now it's too late for that, but they should still speed left and just get onto point.
That's what I think they need to do too.
Oh, Misled Elf's tire comes out. Oh, Wayward fire strikes that. Massive play, and Juice's Dragon Strike comes through, churns through Hawk. Oh, Omega kills 2 with his ultimate, and Ben gets Juice. Allfire is so low. Yeetrus is nanoed as well, and seems to be taking out Ryan. Yep. Will confirm the DMAC on Ryan. And now they will just bully and stagger the Baby D.Va. Spearmint mercifully takes Ryan out. Allfire is still positioned in a very good place to be dealing damage and charging up the last of his ult, but you have to think Toronto's blown it here.
Why are they going right? There's a Junkrat spamming down the staircase, and they have a turret waiting for them up the stairs with what little health they will have left. They are not going to win unless...
There they go. They finally take the left side rotation, and Allfire gets caught out immediately. And they now have no Blizzard for the final fight. Ruka is dead as well, Wayward is dead as well, and this has just all gone wrong. Juice gets a pick on Omega before falling himself. Really, their only chance is if Danny gets this stall of a lifetime here. Juice even swaps to the Doomfist. Ryan throwing himself on point. A good Blizzard, but Yeetrus, the bomb could not DMAC Ryan, and that's a very good shatter by Wayward. Takes down Misled Elf. Hawk gets 2 shattered, but still falls. Juice trades out for Yeetrus's mech and Spearmint, and now Yeetrus falls. Against all odds, Toronto has taken this. And Vancouver, has reset all their ult charge to try to stall this fight. Their DPS have swapped to Tracer and Doomfist, and Yeetrus has swapped to Hammond. Now at this point, they are feeding ult charge, perhaps just a little.
Yeah.
Juice looks to be ready to swap. Omega will swap to the McCree, Yeetrus will swap. Misled Elf will swap
Wayward's
to
gone
Nate,
again.
and Wayward has swapped as well. Or DC'd, I mean, which means he's effectively swapped.
0 ult charge?
Yes. Luckily, the only ultimate either team has up will just be Spearmint's Nano Boost, which is at 88%.
And Danny almost has beat.
Yeah.
That'll be helpful.
It will. They could just try to poke a bit, build it up. Lucio, of course, can, with his healing aura, build that ult very quickly if you're all balled up. But really, it's a question of, do you want to beat into a nano Drine?
Depends. Depends on the situation, and depends on Toronto, how they want to play it out.
Wayward is a very aggressive main tank. He's tried out for my team. I've played with him personally. I've played against him personally, but he is very aggressive. He will even out aggro me, and I'm known as one of the more aggressive Ryans in this league. He will outdo me in the aggro duel. So really, if Danny has the same mindset, that's fine, because Hawk will be nanoed, but it won't matter if he just pushes past him. This pause could last for a little while. Hopefully not nearly as long as we saw pauses last week. Of course, I was an analyst in that game. 2 people were given lobby leader. Neither one ended up working out.
Yeah, but from there, we're just gonna have to wait until this game starts. I'm still a little upset about how long it took Toronto to go a different way than the right side.
Yeah. It really is perplexing. They went right side 5 times, I believe, and they lost all 5.
Yeah.
And they went left side twice, and that's how they capped. I mean, the first time, you gotta say, fighting 5v6 because of how early Allfire got picked off, and that's on him.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that one's rough. Hold on. I may have to slot Wayward back into the game.
Okay.
Alright, I have been given lobby leader, so hopefully there won't be so many waits between pauses. Now we're just waiting for both teams to ready up. Wayward is back in the game, and we are waiting on him to confirm that he is correct. Okay. We are going back into the game. Juice is still on Doomfist, which I assume will not stay. Okay.
Yeah, it switches back to McCree.
So this is a very even mirror match. Almost no ults to speak of on both sides. You have to imagine Spearmint will just hit Q on her Rhine immediately. Hawk actually caught out, massive bio nade and the displacement from the charge, and that is a team wipe from Vancouver. And
the Spearmint has been doing very well on Ana.
yeah,
I've seen her sleeping people. Saw her sleep Ryan out in space.
yeah.
That was pretty funny. But that anti was huge and obviously won them the fight, so now they have Nano for next fight, and that's just stalling time and less
Hawk
of a chance.
Ryan is caught out, but will live. And now, Hawk goes down. That's not good. Wayward is nanoed and close to ult. If they can heal up Ryan, they have a good chance to take this. Omega gets nanoed. Yeetrus is demaxed. That is a very good Blizzard.
He's walled off, not gonna get anyone.
They're even gonna get the kill on Misled Elf and Omega. Hawk is back. Solo shatters Ryan. I'm not sure that was the value that they were looking for. Ben goes down. Hawk dead. A very good anti from Spearmint again, but unless Yeetrus is able to solo stall for quite a while. Omega is back. Yeetrus actually remacks and gets the bomb off. Finds nothing. And that is a very good 4-man beat from Vancouver that will just continue to stall, but Hawk dies again. Yeetrus dies again. Allfire goes down to the Blizzard, and Wayward will as well, as will Juice. Okay, Wayward has DC'd again. But again, you have to think that was just awful from Toronto. They got it to 85.8% and still could not cap the point despite having 2 ults left.
I feel like they honestly separated during Vancouver staggering, and they got distracted on different people, and Vancouver was able to pick off the right people and misled. He got the blizzard, and that took out the tanks, mainly Wayward, and then they won the fight.
Indeed.
Moral of the story.
Alright. As soon as Toronto readies up, we will see them go into the final fight. They are going to have very, very good ult advantage here. Obviously, Vancouver had to blow everything for that, and they even swapped off the Ana and the McCree. They are in full stall mode, and yet Toronto has Nano, Beat, they have Deadeye, and they're probably 1 or 2 picks away from a Blizzard, and since they only need 1 tick, really this should not be hard for them to get. Even a single pick from Juice's Deadeye could seal this off. Omega is just kind of hampering Ryan, but Ryan will get healed up. Although Omega is going to have the Pulse Bomb. Okay, Juice using the ult. Wayward touches point, and that is a very good Blizzard from Allfire. Now anyone trying to stall on point. Oh, massive 4-man shatter from Hawk. Completely turns this fight around. Wayward is nanoed, but he is swinging on targets in Coalescence. Misled Elf freezes and D-Max Ryan, and Ruka goes down, and now with the Blizzard on point, you have to think it is over, and of course it is. No one left on the point except... Yeah, that's it. And now it's looking very winnable for Vancouver.
I think Vancouver can do it. They've been pulling out solid comps, and they have solid plays so far. So I wouldn't be surprised, like you said, if they win this.
Mm-hmm. The only thing is they've shown that they're a very flexible team, and they've also shown that they can beat them in the Brawl Mirror. However, after what we've seen, we have to think that Toronto will not be running another Brawl Mirror. Especially not on Horizon Defense Point A, which, you know, we even see things like double shield come back just for that point. However, we do see Toronto is leaving spawn on a Torbjorn Brawl. And Vancouver is in spawn on a Brawl with a TP strat. So, very standard from both teams, but it's just a Brawl without a McCree on both sides.
I feel like Juice is going to have to put his turret in a very good position, otherwise it's going to get no value when they TP on the point.
Yeah. He has it high right high ground, which has a very good view of the point, except one Misled Elf wall, and it's getting no value.
Yeah. That's Torbjorn's main damage.
And Toronto is absolutely not prepared for this. Every single member of Vancouver is on the point and walled off right now. And that's already a free take for Vancouver. They played that so well. Allfire and Ryan are going low, as is Hawk. Wayward and Hawk both going low, having shielded up. Juice goes down, though. Hawk as well goes down, but he trades for Wayward. This is a very, very good spot for Vancouver as they D-Mac Ryan and kill Allfire, and that is going to be a take nearly immediately. Misled Elf kills 3, as well as assisting on Ruka. Very good fight for Vancouver, and they now have 6 minutes to just get 2.5 ticks on B. Omega is just going to wall into this. Wall plus Coalescence. They're going to be nearly invincible on the side of Vancouver. And really, once we see that, it's not really possible for... yeah, they turret bomb onto point. The wall comes out, and Wayward going so low. A massive Bionade from Ruka. Juice still going down. Wayward is nanoed, but is booped away from his targets. Danny goes down to Yitris. Ryan is demeched. Wayward gets a kill on Omega. Ryan goes down himself. All fire so low. Ruka is trying to heal him up.
Oh, the shatter is cancelled.
A very good blizzard from Toronto, but it ends up catching nobody. Juice going down on the point. Oh, he stays alive for a little bit longer. Misled Elf hitting so many shots. Spearmint somehow caught out by a Diva Bomb. Wayward pinned Hawk, except Hawk ends up living. Wayward should go down to this, you would think, yes. Ryan as well. And now it's only 3 Toronto members on the point. Juice is dead. All Fire is dead. Another Coalescence from Spearmint. Very good on this Moira. Ruka. Danny goes down first. Ruka and Wayward seem to be next. Wayward goes down. Ruka goes down. Ryan trying his best to entertain us, which he does. Ryan alive on the point, and now it's just All Fire on the Tracer. Danny comes back, but gets booped off, and it should not matter. Wayward again on point as the Hammond, but they are about to take this point, and with the Yeetris Bomb, that will do it. And it is going to be a tied 1-1 game.
What do the teams have to get to win?
3. It is a best of 4 with a 5th map if necessary.
I see. Spearmint did really well on this map. She built Coalescence so many times, really fast.
On their attack on point B, popped it and built it again before they capped, despite losing only 2 people. 43% of healing done, 14,500 in 11.5 minutes.
That's crazy.
That is insane.
And then there's me stuck in silver for heals, like, ugh.
We will be taking a very close match into halftime. Before we hand off the before we hand it off to Analyst Desk, do you have any predictions for the rest of the game?
I think, from what I've seen, I think Vancouver's going to win.
I do as well.
Why? Why do you think so? Because you're good at explaining, it seems.
Toronto has been very, very efficient throughout the entire season with everything that we have not seen tonight. They've been very good at the coordination, at the ult management, and they're not doing that tonight, and that's why I think Vancouver will win it. We're going to hand it off to our analyst desk for a 10-minute halftime, and we will be back immediately after that.
All right. Hello. Welcome to the halftime. We will be your analyst desk this evening. My name is Stonewall, and I'm joined here by Little Boy.
Hi, I'm Little Boy.
All right. So, Little Boy, what did you think of these first 2 maps?
I think they were very close, but I think Tiny is actually gonna pull this out on the win. To be honest.
I mean, it definitely was close. Map 1. It went to 3 rounds, and both teams looked pretty good on each of the 3 stages. Like, Toronto was able to pull it out, but it was in no way a convincing win.
Yeah. Some things that happened in Busan though were unexplainable. Like that big Diva Bomb that was just like.
I mean, that hero bomb from Yeetris, that saved them on the Streets map. That was it was a pretty good bomb. I honestly thought they were out before then, but it just goes to show you how your ult usage really can swing the fights.
Yeah. But one thing that has been in Tiny's favor is the Mei walls. Toronto's Mei walls are unexplainably not good enough compared to Tiny's walls.
Sure. So Elf's Maywalls have been really on point. There was the one on Mecha Base that caught out 4 members of Toronto that prevented them from gaining anything off of their initial fight win. They had only got to about 9% on the initial cap before they lost the point, and that's just off the back of that one Maywall. On Toronto's side, they really haven't been that effective. There have been 1 or 2 that have gotten value, but overall, they're really not doing what they need to do, and that's looking to be the difference in this close match right now.
Remember, before that huge Maywall, Hawk was pushed way too far and literally dies because he had no line of sight of his healers. He was way out of position. So Toronto had a huge advantage in that fight with their main tank dead.
Yeah,
With
and
Chinese main tank dead.
and Toronto, they just ended up pushing too far. And crucially, that Maywall split off the rest of their team from their Ana. So they did not have the effective healing to survive it. And that just swung that whole fight. And then furthermore, there was some really good DPS play on Busan as a whole. Juice in particular, when he got the Widow, he was largely uncontested and was getting very high value with that. Even if not getting picks, forcing them to take different angles to avoid his sightlines is great value in these contested matches.
The fact that Juice was able to solo make Ryan change off of the Zarya onto Diva to contest that Widow, and Omega off of what was he playing? I forget what he was playing, but he switched to
I
Tracer.
believe Omega was on McCree.
Yeah, on McCree. And he had to switch to Tracer, so him and Diva had to die with that Widow.
On touching on Omega, Omega's Tracer play was very, very solid. The 3K Pulse Bomb was a little bit nutty, and it's one of those that just kind of happen, and you just got to roll with. But aside from that, he was taking a lot of 1v1s, including with the opposing Tracer, and he was winning them all. The only real death I saw was when he tried to stick the Rhine and got a little unlucky. The bomb got stuck on the Rhine shield. Rhine turned the shield right into him. It's a great, great play from Wayward, but it's just really unlucky from Omega, and you got to feel a little bad for him on that.
That's what you call a feels bad man right there. Immediately after he gets the 4K, they push him to it, and immediately he pops off too. He was popping off during that fight, and then just immediately just dies after that.
Yeah, but still, it wasn't enough, and Toronto was able to pull out the win on Busan. I think it was largely due to, well, Wayward was connected to the game that entire map. I think he might have DC'd once, but for the most part, he was there. And Toronto was playing around him, and it was really effective when they were all on that same page, it seemed. They were rolling. They were playing great.
Yeah, Toronto's chemistry before the swaps were absolutely, I feel like, was really good. I've played with them before, and they have really good chemistry.
Yeah. So Toronto was able to take map 1, but then map 2, it's a different story. That first attack, Toronto, they ran right into that treehouse comp, and it's not going to work out too well for you, is it?
No. They had Torb Junkrat, and if you're pushing right the entire time, you're just not gonna have a fun time. They push right the entire time for the last bit.
But
Feels bad.
And Edward's disconnections really didn't help them there. There was, I believe he disconnected once at a very crucial point in the fight, and it never feels good to disconnect and lose all your ult charge, but when it's your Ryan and you're losing that shield, it's a really tough loss. They were able to get back, and then they played in space for a bit, but when they tried to get back in, Hawk with that massive shatter in the airlock just took them right out. They lost so much time on that because they were slowed out in space and had to wait for Ryan to get back just to get wiped right when he gets back there. That was a really bad play from Toronto and a really well done punish from Vancouver.
Yeah, the swap from Cookie to Allfire was a good swap in the end, but Allfire messed up his walls a whole bunch, and he wasted wall on that play. He wasted wall in the airlock, and then Wayward drops a shield and then he just gets some massive shatter.
Yeah, and it's a tale of two halves, really, at least in that one map. Because once they swapped, like after that, they were able to finally go left, and that fight looked lost. But Wayward was back playing well. The team was playing around him, and they were able to pull off that win. On that first point, it seemed lost for a bit there, and they pulled it out. But then they're down to only having the 3-minute bank, and they just could not get anything done on point two. I believe Wayward had another unfortunate disconnection, but they just weren't looking threatening. They nearly got there, but they never felt like they were going to get there.
Yeah, Juice popped off in the beginning. They were
True,
doing really good. He got that massive high noon. He kept popping off, and then they got 85%, and that's when it just all went downhill from there.
And then they turned it around, and when Vancouver were on the attack, they went right in and they rolled. That Symmetra play was very, very clean from Omega. The TPing right to point is a good strategy that you see in the pros, so it's one that you should be prepared to face. And the way they executed it, I don't want to call it flawless, but they executed it right. They got to the point, they set up their position, and when everyone came in, they focused down their targets very well. They obliterated the Ryan shield, and Omega just went to town. His tracking was very good, and they rolled that first point.
Yes, sir. And speaking of that, immediately after, just it just goes very well for Tiny.
And then they were able to translate that into rolling on map 2. They only needed, I believe, 85-ish% to cap, and they got that on their second fight. That was a very well played round from Vancouver.
Yeah.
So moving forward, we have 2 more maps. We have Hollywood and Dorado. Now, Toronto did make quite a few swaps in between maps 1 and 2. Depending on who goes out and who goes back in, we could be seeing an entirely different team. Vancouver is still yet to make any swaps, but what are your thoughts going into these next 2 maps?
Unless Toronto gets its chemistry back, because not gonna lie, they did during that last map, they didn't look like they had a lot of chemistry. Cookie Breed and Juice, I feel like had a lot more chemistry, and I feel like the entire team has had a lot more chemistry than what they did. Because apparently, the 3 swaps were very new players that were just brought in, so they haven't played with them much. So unless they bring back all that chemistry and are able to clinch us out, it's gonna be a close match. But I think Tiny's gonna take this out.
Right, and then for this first half, who's your player of the match from each team so far as things stand?
100% Omega.
100%. I agree. Omega's play has been really, really doing great work for his team. What about from Toronto?
Toronto Juice.
Okay.
I may be picking on both DPS, but they have been popping off. Wayward has been playing out of his mind too.
Yeah, no, for Toronto, I'm leaning more towards Wayward. Even with the disconnect issues, he's still been popping off, and in fact, you can almost say that because he's disconnecting and he's playing so well, those disconnects are even more costly. But we'll see. There's still quite a lot of Overwatch left to play. And I'm getting the word that we are ready to get back into the swing of things. So I'm going to hand it back over to Cherry and Xbear, and we will see you after the match.
All right, so we are back from the analyst desk. Both sides are ready. The next map will be Hollywood, our hybrid map. Toronto made a lot of swaps. Monster, the GM, Reinhardt in. Gemini coming in for Ryan. Cookie Breed coming in for Juice. And Genkro coming in for Danny.
I'm excited to see Monster play. I don't think I've ever seen them play before, and hearing from people, they're pretty good. So I'm excited for this round. I think Toronto can turn it around from last map.
I have played against Deviant before and with Deviant. Sadly, I was a main tank the time that I played for them, so I never got to play against Monster. as well as when I played against them, he played the 2 maps that I did not play. So I've only seen him play. I've never played against him. But he's very, very good at shutting down aggression. What do you
mean?
He's very good at playing around an aggressive Rhine. He doesn't have to... Like, if somebody aggroes into him, he knows what he's doing and he can get rid of it. Now, this I doubt we'll see. I sincerely doubt we will see the Batiste Reaper Zarya come through from Toronto. Unless this is some very specific strategy they've practiced or they're that comfortable with Monster in.
Yeah. Otherwise, I think for Vancouver, they have a pretty solid comp going on right now. Like you said, Toronto's is pretty interesting, but who knows? Anything can happen.
I think Ruka looks like he will not swap. So we will see Batiste Reaper Zarya brawl. Apparently just trying for the AoE healing, possibly to counter Spearmint's Moira.
He could get the extra damage into.
That is a good wall, but the immortality field keeps up so many, and that's almost no damage dealt. It charged Hawk's ult to 40, but really, that was a waste of a wall. And now we see Ruka even beating out Spearmint and ult charge. Monster's shield goes down, and he dies very quickly. They're trying to get Hawk on the exit, but with his shield up and no shield of their own, they can't. Genkro nearly gets picked off as they leave. Omega takes a bit of damage but backs off, and now both teams are resetting. Monster gets back very quick. Ruka already has the window up, so that's a very good... Oh, massive shatter and such a huge window and lamp. They pick off Hawk with it, even through the coalescence. Oh, massive blizzard, massive DPS ults from both Omega and Misled Elf. The cleanup by Ben on the Lucio there. 3 final blows, of course, you know. Not particularly his doing, but he gets the kill credit.
Yeah, as long as they die.
Yeah. However, Toronto very, very down, very up, sorry, in ults this fight. They have 5 compared to Vancouver's 2.
Yeah.
And it's more impactful ones. Toronto will beat in. They will force the beat and the bomb out. Oh my god. A massive shatter, but I don't think it'll matter. They can't even kill Hawk off this. Yes, they can. They do get Hawk before Monster will get taken down. So if they
is just playing so well.
Yes, Vancouver is playing very well around each other, and you really do have to think it has to do with Toronto making 2, 3, 4 swaps even between maps. Especially taking Juice out. Juice is one of the integral parts of this unit. He's a very mechanically gifted player, and he's also kind of their mentality piece, if that makes sense. And now, Ruka back on the Ana. And another...
Oh my god, eats it! She ate it! Oh my god.
Gemini. It is not even Ryan this time. It is still Gemini. Omega gets
popped off.
2. Yitris kills Cookie after negating his entire ultimate. Misled Elf, another final blow. And Gemini goes down to signal the team kill. And now you have Cookie Breed, traditionally a hit scan player, playing, or traditionally a projectile player. He was showing the McCree, but now he's back on the Hanzo, which is a very good pick for him. He played it quite a bit last season, very, very well. Alright. We head into this. Monster is walled off, but not in an effective place, and Hawk now has no charge and is booped directly into their team, and that is a massive, well, 2, 3-man blizzard. Genkro, Gemini, and Monster all down, and all fire is being very hard staggered. And this could be the full hold from Vancouver, and if they take it, they will go up to match point. However, if they draw this, if Toronto manages to draw this, it will still bode well for them. However, with that
my
shatter,
god, they weren't expecting that. That's it.
That should be it. Yep, that
Oh
will not
my
be able to
god.
touch. Massive shatter from Hawk.
That was the last thing I was expecting from Hawk. I thought he was going to save it for a point, but hey, might as well prevent them from even touching it.
Yeah, he played that very well. Playing against the GM, honestly, this is not a dig at anyone in particular, but sometimes, especially at main tank, the GM players in this league are not necessarily the best. We have 3 GM Reinhardts in this league, and we see them consistently outdone. So really, we cannot go
judge off of their rank.
Yeah. You cannot go directly off their rank for their skill, because really, ladder is in no way equal to organized competitive play.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen that even professionally with players like Bumper. And another good example is Gujue. The rank really does not determine skill. And now we see Toronto get a little desperate. Cookie Breed back on the May over Allfire, and Allfire will be playing Junkrat. And a teleporter strat by Vancouver. I'm not sure if they'll stick on this, but if they do, they're likely expecting a very aggressive hold, and they're just going to teleport high ground.
Yeah.
Now, this can go one of 2 ways if that happens. They're either going to get there, pick off Allfire, and win immediately, or they're going to get destroyed by Allfire. Because Allfire, that AoE damage, they do stick on the Symmetra, and you have to think this teleporter will be going high ground. No! They will teleport to the opposite high ground into the cafe. Very good rotation, and it has effectively made Toronto feel like an attacker again. Ruka is down already. Wayward pins Beatrice, but it is not enough to kill them. Monster goes down, as does Misled Elf. Omega goes down, and is now a 4-on-4 on point. Cookie falling low, Gemini falling low. Hawk takes out Genkro, and Gemini is dead as well, and you have to think that this is it. A massive 2-man tire and the DMAC from Allfire, but it still may not matter. It is a 3-on-2 on point. Beatrice is dead. 2-on-2, but with Omega coming back on the Doomfist, he is just bullying. Oh, Monster. A very good 2-man shatter to save it for them.
How did Omega not get shattered?
I don't know, but Hawk kind of feeding there. You have to think it's just so that he can build his shatter, which is now 93% too. And Omega swapping off the Symmetra, realizing it will not work after 1 life. Swap from Symmetra to Doomfist to Junkrat, now going back to spawn to play the Pharah with no pocket. There's effectively no way for Omega to get healed, but at the same time, other than Ruka, there's no real damage that can touch him. Just Ruka and Gemini's beams, which are very short range. See, even that little chip damage onto Omega can force him to back away and look for healing, because he cannot get it from a pocket.
No.
Hawk hits Gemini with the shatter, and that is a very good beat.
All
Hawk
ults are
will
coming
go
out.
down, and that is a 2-man. Oh, and the wasted coalescence. A wasted shatter by Monster, though. This is both teams investing ultimates that they should not. And now, Toronto has nothing but the Grav and nothing but the B and the Bomb on the side of Vancouver. However, Vancouver is down to 1.5 minutes, and if this map draws, we will go to the map 4 to decide everything. Hawk coming in. Will we see another Beatrice bomb? Oh, Hawk pins Cookie. That is a massive kill. Beatrice bombs the trap on point. It's nothing but completely... Okay.
Huge beat.
Very good beat. And now you have to think Monster will die, as will Gemini. Okay, they cancel Ruka's ult. Oh, massive 3-man, and it doesn't even matter. Monster is dead. Gemini is dead. Cookie is dead. And this tire is just for good measure. As Vancouver takes a 2-1 lead and is on match point. If they win either Dorado or Lijiang, it is over. And this will likely just be the cleanup play of the game from Ben, unless it's a defensive one. Nope. This is, of course, the cleanup I was talking about earlier. Not exactly his doing.
Getting the job done, though.
Getting the job done, definitely.
Spearmint, oh my god. She built up coalescence so fast.
7.5 minutes into the game, 12,500 damage. Monster, of course, 4 gold medals. What is my team doing, bro? I have 4 golds. But we will be seeing even more swaps from Toronto. And this is very uncharacteristic of them. They seem to be experimenting, which at this late into the season, you can't be doing that. It's really too late. The playoffs are right around the corner. You cannot be experimenting with your roster at this stage of the game. All right.
What would you say they should do then? What's their usual roster? I am still fairly new.
I would say either Monster or Wayward at main tank, of course. I would say Gemini, also known as Hit or Miss, for those of you who didn't know, at off tank. Ruka and Danny at support, and Juice and Cookie Breed at DPS. That was, I believe, what they ran even when they did win the first map. And we will now be going into Dorado, I believe. Let me just double check the map pool for this week. Okay. I am correct. It is Dorado. And Toronto, again, making lots of swaps. This time it will be Ryan over Gemini, Juice over Allfire, and Danny over Ruka. And this is probably the best lineup that they could run, aside from what I said.
Vancouver's, they have been a solid 6. I think are doing really well. All of them are doing their part. Ben has the beats on point. Spearmint building up those coalescences really fast, and Hawk knows when to shatter. Yeetress is always getting those picks needed, and she's throwing some, or he's throwing some huge bombs. Misled Elf and Omega, they're both getting the picks that they need to secure the fight. They're just a great team all around, and they're performing very well.
Mm-hmm. And of course, both of these teams will be going into the playoffs as far as I know. If I am incorrect, then it is possible that Vancouver will not be, due to a very slow beginning of the season for them, but hopefully they will make play-ins, because if they do, they will be quite a force to be reckoned with in the play-ins. There are quite a few good teams that, due to the unfortunate disqualification of 2 teams, the playoffs have been changed. It is guaranteed that 3 teams from each division will make it. Despite the fact that 5 of the top 6 teams are Atlantic, we will be seeing the top 3 Pacific teams make it. So we are seeing teams like possibly Vancouver, Paris, my own team, and even Florida making these late season pushes into the play-ins. And really, teams like Toronto are now looking weak compared to these late push teams. And I have to say, as much as I'd love to see it, I doubt we see Monster roll out here on the Hammond. However, we're down to 5 seconds until start, and he's sitting at the door.
Scouting, perhaps?
You'd have to think
anyone
so.
do it.
He's
Maybe
going
boop them off high
underneath.
ground.
So what he's playing for here is to boop them off the high ground directly into Cookie Breed and Monster's Crossfire. And that is a massive boop. They have to waste the wall just to curb that aggression. Cookie Breed somehow gets picked off by Omega. And now Toronto will reset. Monster will swap immediately. This seemed to just be a one-fight strategy just to get them off the high ground. it worked very well, and now Toronto does have favorable position despite losing that fight. So really,
very smart.
yeah, without winning the fight, they have somehow got the position that winning the fight would have given them. And now this wall is brutal. Even if nobody dies off it, Omega should die. Omega will die, and Spearmint is very close to it herself. Cookie takes out the mech, and that will be probably point A. Omega is alive, but will not be able to recontest. And with only 3 meters left and nobody but a McCree to touch, this will be point A, quickly going over to Toronto with a 5-minute time bank.
That was the most welly executed first push on point A on Toronto I have ever seen.
And
they only won one fight.
Yeah, not to mention as well, Monster has somehow beaten Hawk in the Reinhardt ult charge battle, despite playing Reinhardt for half the time this map. And he has now just taken Hawk for the ride of his life and killed him. Danny will go down. Monster is very low. Misled Elf on point, and that is a wasted beat by Genko. As Ben and Omega get the cleanup on the frozen targets, Yeetris kills Juice. Ryan is DMAC being staggered very badly right now. However, if you look at the ults, even though there was the wasted beat, it's still very even. 4 for each team heading into this fight. And if anything, Ryan is closer. So really it's 5 ults for Toronto versus 4 for Vancouver. Monster, Nanode, immediately frozen.
Frozen again.
Immediately frozen again, and another shatter from Juice, however. The fight has been turned around. Ryan sacrifices his mech to take out Omega, but really that's what you want to do as a diva. If you can sacrifice your mech to stop a very impactful ultimate in an even fight. And in the end, it does win them the fight, and despite their early struggles on both points, they're now poised to take point B with a 3.5-minute time bank. Of course, there will be a recontest with 3, almost 4 ults, except Hawk going down immediately, and Monster kept up. Misled Elf dies. Ryan gets back in the mech. Yeetris demeched on point. Everything is going wrong for them. Suddenly, Monster's aggression is working much better than it was on the previous map.
Maybe it's because they swapped some people in and out that just worked better.
Yeah, it's one of 2 things. It's either Danny being able to pocket him more than Ruka on the Ana, or it's Ryan on the Diva compared to Gemini on the Zarya. I know Ryan is a higher rated player and is playing a different hero, and that could very well be what is actually solving this issue for them. And now Monster almost up to another shatter. Hawk walled off. That is a very good blizzard that will freeze 2 people. They will be zoned out of it. Oh, a massive shatter. 4 down on the side of Vancouver. Make that 5. Spearmint stalling point as long as they can, but that will be the team kill horn with 4 ults to stop them from contesting this payload. Yeetris is coming back on the Hammond, but is stunned. There is a bomb. They get booped, and that will be a 344 cap by Toronto.
That was their best map this whole game, by far. They really turned around.
One thing to note, I'm not going to say that Toronto's going to win this map, because we obviously don't know that. But I do have to say, if they go to map 5, Monster will not be allowed to play. Grandmasters are only allowed 2 maps per game in this league, and no matter what, your Grandmasters cannot play map 5, meaning Monster and Mockingbird on the side of Toronto are disqualified from the match in map 5 and will not be able to play. Meaning they will be back to Wayward, and Wayward is by no means a bad player, but right now Monster seems to just be what's working for them. Monster, of course, hard outpacing Hawk that last round.
Wayward did play on the first point though, but like what you're saying right now, Monster is working. Hopefully they can just get back whatever worked on that first point.
Yeah. That's if they win this map, remember.
If, yes. You're
Yeetris, right. I can't imagine this will be permanent, but Yeetris is showing the Sigma in spawn. Sigma is one of our least played heroes this year, to the point where at times, even a Roadhog has seen more play than Sigma. Yeah, Yitra swaps back to the D.Va, which has been working very well for Vancouver so far.
I was gonna say, yeah, I agree completely.
Stop the payload.
Alright, Hawk and Spearmint, some early ult charge. Spearmint on the Ana this time. An interesting adjustment with how well the Moira's worked. They may feel that the orbs are not getting enough value with Ryan eating them. Alright. Oh, Monster perfectly walled off. Pinned. But Hawk anti'd, destroyed in that tiny corridor. And Misled Elf barely escaping with his life. Yeetrith really does save him there. Juice is 1 HP, will get healed up by Danny. And that went so wrong so fast. Monster got pinned into a corner off a perfect wall, only for Vancouver to lose the fight.
The supports were there through that tiny crack the whole time with Monster, so I was very impressive by Danny and Gankro.
And that is a whiffed wall by Vancouver. And Monster oh! Juice, the hero play, dropping in from behind and right-clicking Spearmint. Ryan in the backline takes Hawk down, a very ill-advised charge. And Monster is now 90 to a shatter. They will not... Oh, they may need to use it this fight, actually. It's a 4-on-4 on cart. Alright, make that a 4-on-3, and this should signal the retreat. Oh, the massive 3-man shatter. And if they can demech Yeetrith as well. No, they cannot. Ryan actually hard overcommitting here, but will not be punished, interestingly enough. And in the Ryan mind games, Monster's going to be playing passively this fight, thinking that his opponent has shatter when, in reality, Hawk is only 70 to shatter. Make that 80 now off a very good fire strike from him, but they are taking the left rotation. We saw teams in the actual Overwatch League do this last season during GOATS, where they would take that high ground so that their Zarya could just deal all the damage possible. Omega is now in that role, but cannot even deal any shield damage. And now there is overlap. Oh, Hawk goes down while nanoed, and that's gotta hurt, but still, Vancouver off the back of a very good Blizzard looks to be winning this fight. Danny is very low. Genkro is full health and is trying to keep Danny up. He does succeed in doing so. Someone is still stalling. A very good beat even hits Ryan at what seems to be max range, and that is a very good recontest. Monster actually pinned, and Hawk should use the shatter. Hits
Wait,
two,
what
but
happened?
dies. Monster dies, rather. Hawk is alive.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Cookie is dead. Omega committing the Deadeye, and that will be point A for Vancouver.
60 seconds remaining.
And now with Monster split spawn, he may get punished. Actually, it looks like he won't. They do not want to aggro him. Perhaps not checking to see where the rest of Toronto spawned. Juice going for this high ground play. Perhaps he's... Oh, he's looking for Misled Elf. Misled Elf is actually engaged in a... Was engaged in a 1v1 behind. In the front line, however, Cookie Breed going very low. Actually, a stun onto both tanks on the side of Toronto. They are kept up. They're not anti. Cookie Breed goes down to a combination of a nanoed Ryan swing. Oh, Spearmint dies to the D.Va bomb, but Ryan goes down while demech from the bomb. And
Huge
Yeetrith
bomb.
kills both supports and kills Monster. You have to
Yeetrith
think
is popping off.
Yeah, you have to think Yeetrith will be getting the player of the match if Vancouver wins this game.
Honestly, I think that they deserve it.
Yes. Spearmint swaps back to the Moira. At this point, Yeetrith frozen on the high ground. And that is... Oh, that is a massive 4-man shatter from Hawk. And Hawk anti'd, knocked down, frozen, it doesn't matter. He is still alive. Ryan stalling on cart as long as he can, which is not very long. And now Vancouver will not be able to complete the map no matter what with the same time bank as Toronto. Toronto as well swapping over to the Moira. Both teams favoring the Moira over the Ana, not wanting the anti-nade in favor of the high AoE healing, probably because of how aggro the Rhymes are playing. Alright.
Elf got 2 early picks before this fight even started, so they get to push the car a little bit.
This should be a very good Blizzard. Oh, Misled Elf takes out Juice. As Omega's Deadeye rather gets no value as well. Massive 2-man shatter, and now they have to kill Spearman, which they do not. Monster will live, will stay high HP. Omega should get killed here. He will. And that is going to be another successful hold. And now, even if Vancouver takes the next fight, you have to think they will lose this map now that Toronto has double the time bank as them. No matter what.
Is a very good theory, and I wouldn't be surprised if you were right.
Juice onto the Doomfist now. Not feeling comfortable on the McCree, countering Misled Elf, which is very surprising for him. Misled Elf. Another, Juice counterpinned and will go down. Dueling Coalescences on point. Hawk shatters, hits nothing, but a wall from Cookie Breed. Very well placed. He was trying to bait it out, but he did not. Another bomb from Ryan. This one finds Ben. As he's getting his beat, that's very important. Omega. A crucial waste of the ultimate, but then Monster solo shatters a Diva. Which is very weird. Perhaps shows you just how much they value Yeetrus. Omega does swap to the Reaper. Now both teams running very weird DPS lineup. Tracer and Misled Elf back onto the Mei off the Tracer. Juice will now swap as well back to the McCree, trying to counter the Omega's Reaper pick. At least, yes, he will. This is very interesting mind games from both teams. They're trying to play counters instead of trying to beat each other. Monster walled off. The Reaper on him very closely. The pin misses somehow. Omega nearly goes down, and now Monster still very low but being healed up. And that is a massive, massive... Oh. And now Yeetrus should get demeched off on that 4-man shatter from Monster. And now Yeetrus is alive. Barely, and will not stay so for long. Taken out trying to hide to stall the cart, and that should be it. You'd have to think. The closest person to touch is Hawk. With 1 second left, they will not. And this will be a 2-2 game going into map 5.
Wow, this is intense. Like, Vancouver was showing that, like, oh, we got this in the bag. We're doing so well. We got great momentum, and all of a sudden, Toronto turns around and pulls out these players, and they're like, okay, hold up.
And this huge, perfectly angled shatter, by the way, from Monster, that looked very kind of easy on screen. You saw the freezes, except I can promise you as a Ryan player myself, that was not that easy. And Monster himself, 12 shatter kills, 18 shatter stuns. It's a 67% kill rate on his shatters, as well as 18 stuns in 12 minutes. That is amazing. And now we will head into Lijiang Tower, I believe. This is perhaps the only map 5 this week, actually, on this map pool. And it's very close going into this final map, but I think the deciding factor will be the fact that Monster must come out. Okay, these are the official swaps from Toronto. Wayward and Ryan, Juice and Cookie, Danny and Ruka. So they are taking Genkro out for Ruka. And that will be it. And I can very obviously assume that Vancouver will not be making any swaps. They've played 6 people the full format so far. We will be giving it over to our analyst desk for a very short 5-minute break just before we head into the final map. So enjoy that while we get prepared for the final map.
All right, hello. Stonewall isn't in here, so you are with me for now on. That was a very close game. I don't know what to say. Stonewall, thank you.
Hi, I'm back. Sorry about that. So, wow. Those 2 games were night and day. That Hollywood match, Toronto, they didn't have anything going for them. They got rolled. They got straight up rolled in Hollywood. Their defense was admirable, but they ultimately didn't look too hot. But Dorado, they came out swinging. That was such great play from them. I gotta hand it to Monster. The boop off the top to start off that attack, that won them the phase without winning the fight. That is just such a big brain play, and the way they executed on that was just so perfect that it just really set them up to keep that tempo going for the rest of that round. Did you notice anything else from there?
For which map, Stone?
Either, really.
Well, one thing I would like to say is that Tiny played the defense of Hollywood extremely well.
Yes, they
Like
did.
their ults were either pitched perfect or they were just all used according to plan, and it was just absolutely amazing. I love to watch it.
Yeah, and furthermore, with that old battle, Yitris had a huge grab eat that almost got lost because it happened in the middle of such a chaotic fight. But had that grab gone down, I think Vancouver would have lost that fight. That was a huge eat, and Yitris has eats this round, this entire match tonight. They've been huge. Yitris is really playing well.
And now thinking about it, the MVP for the match, I don't know anymore who it should be, because
Yeah,
Yitris is popping off these past matches.
Yeah, there have been some very good play from both sides. But I mean, we'll have to see. Map 5 is map 5 is map 5. It's its own unique egg of worms, and anything can really happen.
What I can say though is that it is a tiny bit favored of Deviant because they won the first. No matter how close it was, it's still kind of favored of the Deviant because since they won the first control point.
I mean, you're right about that, but that first match was pretty close. I don't think I can pick one of these 2 teams. I think it's going to be close all the way through, and it's going to be down to the wire. I think we're going to get some 99-99s on this.
Yeah, I don't know about my pick anymore of who's gonna win this match anymore, because I can't pick anymore. It's very even.
Yeah, at this point, like, I couldn't say. I think both teams certainly can win this match. Both teams have their win conditions. It's just who's going to play to them better.
Now that Wayward's in, let's see if his disconnects can hold up for about 5 minutes.
And that would be very unlucky.
About 5 minutes. So Deviant has a good chance of winning this match.
Yeah, and speaking of which, are we about ready to get started?
We're about to find out, aren't we?
I believe we're waiting on the word, but till then, we're gonna send you back over to Cherry and X-Bear. We'll see you after the match.
All right, thank you to our analysts. We are back
Again.
into the game. We are going into Lijiang Tower. Lijiang, I expect these 2 teams to just run apparently whatever they want. I mean, Toronto, when we played them on this map, which was a few weeks ago to be fair, but we saw them run May Junkrat. You know, it's...
How'd that work out?
They won that round. Oh, shit. Fuck.
Not happy with the map.
No, it fucking said. It said that it wasn't. They want reset map again?
Do they want a certain map?
Now
I don't know.
Well, here's the other one, so.
Initiating match.
Everyone's just like,
Yeah, I'm quite confused as well.
me too. Pause? What? Night Market banned? I'm so confused.
Hold on, I'm gonna message Sarth.
Okay.
Excuse our confusion. This is not exactly. Sarth, our admin and head of production, has told me to restart the map again after doing it once before, and I'm not quite sure why. Now his team has said that he's not here right now. This is.
So we can't play because
we have to wait for Sarth. Sarth is not only our head of production, but he is the moderator at this game. And if he is not here, we're really not supposed to play. Okay, Sarth is apparently talking to Vancouver right now to see what's up.
Okay.
Reset to night market. Okay. We are supposed to reset this game until we reach the correct round. This is not it.
Initiating.
I am so sorry to the audience here for what's happening. We have gotten night market. Okay. Alright. We are on the correct map now. We are on to night market. Lijiang night market. This is a very good Symmetra map. Both teams have run. Oh my god, we are on the wrong one. It is not meant to be night market. We are meant to be on gardens.
Now arriving at Lijiang Tower.
This is control center.
Initiating.
I am so sorry, dude.
It's okay.
Now arriving at Lijiang Tower.
Here.
Initiating.
Here. Here. All right. Perhaps finally. Our mistakes have been amended. Okay. Now, we will be on
Ready for battle.
gardens. We will be seeing a Symmetra in spawn from Vancouver, but not from Toronto. Now, Toronto will likely try to go to the right room, and Vancouver will likely teleport to point. Now that is always going to favor Vancouver, except for the fact that they're going to have a Symmetra as opposed to a McCree. But if they can just bunker up on point, this is one of the best maps for it. As you can see, yes, Vancouver will teleport to point while Toronto goes to the right room. And that is a wasted wall from Cookie, and this Wayward already taking damage from turrets early on. His shield is already almost down. This is not good for Vancouver. Hawk himself is low, but he is being healed back up very quickly by Spearmint. And now, a good rotation and the wall onto Hawk. Toronto could take this fight now. Hawk is dead. And Omega not getting the value you would expect on the Symmetra because of the amazing rotation by Toronto. Spearmint is dead. Ryan is frozen. Perhaps an unnecessary coalescence by Danny, but it does at least guarantee them the fight win. Juice already up to 90. Already has his ultimate. Very quick Deadeye. Misled Elf will have... Actually, Vancouver is going to have 4, nearly 5 ults on the re-engage.
Omega had to switch off the Symmetra, so he's going to be starting with very little ult charge, but from seeing him play, I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, not to mention Danny also very low on ult charge. Juice popping the early ult, the wall comes out, the wall is destroyed. Juice gets nothing, not even shield break. Wayward dead, and a massive
big shatter.
And Danny and Ruka trying to stall on point. Spearmint, the 3 final blows, obviously, you know, Moira. But
going to this fight though, Titans, or not Titans, Toronto, they have almost 5 ults. Danny is going to build that up really quickly, just throw an orb or so, and she'll be there, he'll be there. So I think they're going to win this fight. Huge shatter. Oh my god.
Oh, a very good beat. A very good beat from Vancouver. Ben will go down for it. However, now, perhaps a wasted... Oh, Danny's Coalescence immediately canceled. Hawk kills Wayward, but will sacrifice himself for it. And this another retake by Toronto. These two teams could not be more evenly matched.
This is going to be a very close game.
Definitely. As you can see, it's even on the control percentage, or at least it was. It was 46 to 46. And now we will be seeing another white room rotation. Neither team wanting to test the bridge against these two very good, very offensive-minded Lucios. Or even against the Diva boots at this rate. Juice, another Deadeye, zoning them straight out. Beatrice is out of Matrix. Oh, Omega from behind will kill Juice. Wayward gets shattered. Ryan gets shattered as well, but Ruka beats it. Ruka's beat does not reach Cookie, and Cookie is quickly beamed down by Spearman's Coalescence. Ryan will be demacked before he can get bombed to reset. He would not have done it anyway. And now it's just Ruka stalling on point, who will die, and now Monster will have to retreat. He is almost there to touch and continue to stall. But from what we've seen so far, you would imagine that Toronto would just go white room. And they do have a okay ult advantage. They nearly have 4 ults to Vancouver nearly having 2. However, it all depends on how quickly those supports can build theirs.
And Wayward,
if Ben Spearmint can build, yeah. Wayward does have the shatter, and it's massive. It's 4, and there's a bomb from Ryan that catches 2. Beatrice, however, Beatrice catches Wayward, and Misled Elf headshots Cookie Breed out of the Blizzard. Juice will kill Omega, and Ryan will demac Beatrice and then kill Elf. And this will now be a final fight territory for Vancouver. Oh no. They are already beginning to stall. Omega is on Doomfist. Misled Elf on Tracer. Ben, barely alive. Juice takes him out. There is now no supports on the side of Vancouver. It is just a Tracer and a Baby Diva on point. And now it's just a Tracer. And that should be it. Unless Ben can hit the rollout, which he cannot. That will be 1-0 Toronto in the final stage of the map.
0-1.
Vancouver can definitely turn this around. They can definitely win this next map. Both teams are playing very, very well, and they both really want to win.
Now, we will see Ryan swap over to the Zarya, and it's going to be very interesting to see what Juice plays here. We know he is such a good hit scan, however, he has shown us the projectile, some Hanzo, some Junkrat, and Toronto does run Junkrat May on this map. However, no Ana, no Mockingbird to make it work, which is how they ran it against us, and Ryan on the Zarya. This seems to be what they're sticking with. Omega will stay on the Doomfist, which is very interesting. And against the Zarya, it could be very good. They punch Wayward into the wall. Wayward is already solo. He has no shield. He is under half HP. He is frozen, and that will be it. Omega will finish him off and punch him into a wall. And now Hawk falling low himself, but there's no way that Toronto can fight this. Without your main tank, you are lost in this meta, and the fact that they are even on point is bad. However, Cookie will take out Omega with a headshot. It's even right now. Oh, Hawk already has the shatter. But Danny lives. Hawk and Misled Elf go down. Everything has gone wrong for Vancouver here.
Ryan is such high charge.
Yeah, Ryan really getting the most out of the Zarya pick. Omega looks like he may swap. No, he will not. Omega will stick with the Doomfist. Wayward close to a shatter. Oh, Misled Elf, huge pick on Juice. And now, if Hawk can be kept up, which he can, this should be a one fight. Oh, canceled Wayward shatter with the pin by Hawk. Building up quite a bit of ult charge to his own. Ryan will die at 90 to a grab. And now, it's all gone wrong for Toronto when it looks so good. That one pick by Misled Elf onto Juice, and Cookie will die, and that will be the flip coming in with all 6 ultimates up to Vancouver. However, there's 4 up on the side Toronto, and it's really, really going to be a close fight. It all comes down to the ults that one team has that the other does not. Namely, the Shatter and the Coalescence. That is a very good grab, but the bomb is better. The bomb will take out Ruka. Beatrice has been so good tonight. Misled Elf is the only casualty to Cookie's Blizzard, but Hawk does get this positioned out of it and will die. Cookie will die alone on point. It is now a 4v4, except you have to imagine Hawk will be back very quickly. And Omega, so low, will get taken down. A very good Shatter. Lays down Juice and Danny. Gets them both with a Fire Strike. Wayward will take Hawk out. Wayward, his own Shatter, only gets one. Oh, actually gets 2, but neither is followed up upon. Since there's only a Lucio and a Zarya alive, and the Zarya is frozen, will get taken out by Misled Elf. Everything's gone wrong for Toronto. They now only have 75 to a Grav and to a Coalescence, and those are their only ults, compared to nearly both support ults for Vancouver. Another very good punch. They've been so good at displacing Wayward. Now they're backing up, giving up quite a bit of space as Omega tries to get the pick off onto Cookie but fails. Juice flanking and 90 to his ult. You know what he wants to do. Wayward, however, so low. Juice demax Beatrice at the cost of his own life. A massive, massive Blizzard from Vancouver. Should seal it. However, there is a Cookie Breed Blizzard on point. It is a 3v2. Misled Elf kept up. It's a 3v3. Juice is back on the Doomfist. 4v4. Ryan onto the Hammond. And that is a very, very good beat by Toronto. It could give them exactly what they need. A 3-man Shatter. Another one from Hawk. And Ryan so low on the Hammond. Juice picks off Ben. However, Danny and Wayward will fall. And it is now a Coalescence versus just the Hammond. And we will be going to a final round.
This is as close can get. Oh my god.
This is one of the better games that I've watched in this league.
Yes. These teams are very good. What do you think they're going to have to go for to win this?
I think Juice on the Symmetra, which he is showing in Spawn right now, is a very good idea. Omega is showing the Tracer will swap to the Symmetra. This will be the Symmetra mirror teleport into the window. This is a strat that we've seen some in the Overwatch League and in Contenders, but in this league, at this yellow, there's almost no idea how to counter it, especially if it's a mirror. Lots of teams have been running this in and out of the league, and I fully expect both teams to run that instead of just teleporting out of Spawn. And we will see both teams teleport up top. Toronto gets there slightly first, but messes up all of their turrets, and Juice takes down Omega off the point. Ben will fall, Wayward will fall, Misled Elf will fall, and that will be the one fight from Toronto where Juice
He already has his ult.
already has a wall. Omega had to swap, but was only at 16% ult charge. You look at the onto Pharah. I'm not sure if I like that pick.
Yeah, especially with turrets.
The Pharmacy will have to be trying to get value in the way that we saw Pharmacy get value on this map in Overwatch League Season 1 by poking through the windows. However, against Ryan's Diva, which can matrix a lot of that, and Juice's wall, it will be very hard, at least for this fight. Beatrice does take out the teleporter. Danny solo. One rocket would finish him off. Wayward frozen, dead. Danny as well taken down, and that is a very good two-man shatter from Hawk. However unnecessary, Misled Elf with 3 kills in the cleanup. Ryan going down, Cookie alone on point, will die. Juice swaps off the Symmetra, very wise decision.
Omega's making the Pharah work. He already has his
Yeah.
ult.
Omega has his ult, however, we are going to see how he can do against one of the better hit scans in the league, playing McCree, his comfort pick. Omega obviously looking for the drop-down barrage here. They just want to kill Wayward first, and now, if they even need to go for it. Misled Elf being healed up. Okay. Hawk dies. Omega smartly turns away instead of killing himself on Ryan's match. Will kill Ryan, and this will buy the time that they need to bring Hawk back. No, they even get the res off onto Hawk. That is massive. The big brain plays by Omega. If he goes down there by shooting himself onto Ryan's mech, Hawk will have to walk back at the cost of the res to Omega. Very smartly played by Omega, very smartly played by Ben. And now it's going to be dueling Blizzard bombs. However, the advantage, both support ults on the side of Toronto. You see Danny pop his ult now. Wayward has his shatter, ready and waiting. He just hits Hawk, and that is massive. Misled Elf gets 2, and Yeetris another massive bomb. Omega does fall. Hawk will be res, the first casualty of the fight, and they will kill Juice. And it is down to last fight territory, with the respawns coming in, taking at least another good 10 seconds to get there. It will be 85% on the point before they get a full 6v6 fight. They are trying to aggro in right now, not knowing that Omega's already come back and already received that pocket. He does get Fire Struck, very well played by Wayward, except now Juice is back. They have their... oh no. Omega's taken down Ruka, and this could be it. Ryan getting pestered by Omega. 95, 96, 97. Ryan throwing himself through the window to touch. Juice. An ult that finds nothing. And a massive bomb from Ryan. Will kill Misled Elf and then somehow get an environmental kill on Spearmint.
I've never seen that before.
I've seen it, but never on a 200 HP target. I've only seen it on like a Roadhog that's using his Take Breather ability. And now we will see Omega stick with the Pharah due to having Barrage. One more fight for Vancouver will win it. They have a Shatter, they have a Barrage, and there's nothing left in the tank for Toronto aside from Danny being 80 to a Coalescence with it. He will get it. That is a massive wall, and that is a very good Barrage, and he will die because of it. And that is a 4-man Shatter that could win the game. We will see Ben probably res Omega as soon as he feels safe. He will not feel... he will get saved. Juice is unable to kill the Mercy, and this could be it.
This is it.
Ryan wisely trying to stall. Very well played on the stall there, but I'm not sure it will matter. Already taken out of mech. Wayward dead. Another bomb by Yeetris. Will find Danny. Cookie alone on the point. And just Juice on the Doomfist.
And that's it.
That will be it. That will be Vancouver Tiny taking down one of the better teams. Another. Okay. This will be a very big upset and a very close game. Now, Yeetress, 73% kill participation. Now, we are going to send it over to our analyst desk. They will be talking about map 5. Then we will be turning it over to us to interview the player of the match. So enjoy the analyst desk. We will see you in a minute.
All right, thank you, Cherry. And wow, what a match. That went down to the wire, and both teams left it all out there. Little boy, what can you say after a match that intense?
I have no words. That was absolutely amazing to watch. It was every single player put it all out there, and it was. I have no words.
Honestly, that's fair. That was just so. When we started off, that first map, there was really good Symmetra play, but they still lost that first fight on that first round. I was not expecting that. It looked like they had the positioning, but they just got out rotated a bit. I don't know. What did you make of that?
Yeah, to be honest, I thought it was 100% going towards their way, but then it just again it went downhill. I don't know why. It just always goes downhill.
I mean, such is the nature of this game. It swings one way, then it swings the other way, just like a pendulum. But with Control Center, that again, all these matches were close, so you're gonna just hear us say that all the time. But that was again another really close match that was just decided by ult usage. And it's hard to say like what really separated the teams. I think on Control Center, personally, I think that Hawk's Shatters were the difference maker, but it was still really close.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Ryan play on that map what had to be the difference between all of them. They both played extremely well, but I think one came over the top of the other.
And I think overall for this match, the Rhyme play has been just really well done. Every Rhyme player on both teams played very well, and this was honestly just a clinic on Rhyme play. And then Night Market, that was a close one. The start of that fight, both teams teleporting on to the point. That was fun. That was fun. I was expecting some clown fiestas and papegas in chat, but we had a crazy brawl to open up that match. That was dang.
I haven't personally never seen that. Probably because I'm in Plat, but personally I've never seen that. Yeah, thanks. Personally, I've never seen that, and that would just look extremely fun to do.
Yeah, well, that's competitive play for you. But at the end of the day, Vancouver Tiny, they took the win. This is going to be very big for them in terms of their playoff hopes. So, who's your player of the match for this?
As someone who plays DPS, I think the player of the match had to be Miss Let Elf.
All right. I mean, Miss Let Elf definitely played well. Those May walls were on point, and the blizzard usage was very effective. There were definitely multiple situations where those blizzards won the fight. However, personally, I have to give it to the Yeetress. There were just too many ult eats to count. The bombs were huge, and overall, their matrix usage to deny key abilities like Anonades and Sleeps, that is just the little details that make such a huge difference. And their overall play was fantastic. So I have to give it to the Yeetress.
Yeah, and I think that almost all the players who played this deserve MVP. And Wayward, Monster, and Ryan, I think, also could deserve MVP.
Yeah, I certainly agree. The tanks from Toronto, they played very well. They couldn't get it done, unfortunately, but they still have a lot to be proud of, and they showed a lot of really bright spots.
The supports did also very amazing too, not to leave them out.
Yeah, the DPS too. Everybody played well, but we can only have one. There's no participation trophies. Sorry.
I sound like every soccer mom.
Yes, you do. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us on the desk. Thank you for joining us. I'm Stonewall, and for my partner, Little Boy, thank you very much. Now we're going to send it back over to Cherry Next Bear to wrap up the night. Good night.
All right, we are back with our player of the match. It's going to be the Yeetress. Hello.
I really gotta turn this down. I'm not the player of the match. Bye-bye.
Oh.
Um.
Oh. That
Wow.
I've not seen that. Well, Yeetress has just turned down player of the match, which I've only seen once before, and they still had to do the interview. I guess you've been sent back, Yeetress. They've muted now.
A little sassy. Okay.
Okay, Yeetress.
Yes.
I hope you know I'm not the one that's been pulling you back in here. I can't even see your team chat. But
Alrighty.
you know, you ate I think 6 ults today.
It happens.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
happens.
it happens. You are keeping this pretty casual. How do you get the sense to eat them like that?
I mean, if you've watched high elo diva play, the whole flick away and eat him, or like the Zarya's low high energy and needs to grab, you just know. Like
There was one grab on map 1 by Ryan. It was on Mecha Base at the choke where he looked straight down and hit Q and you still got it.
alright, if you look back at that map, what I did was I held my DM out, knowing that he wanted to grab, turned away to act like the DM was gone, because he's tunnel vision on the grab, and then I
Yeah.
turned back and I eat it because he doesn't know that I have DM still.
Right. So would that be the old Fury play from Gibraltar last season?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It's one of those things that's overplayed, and I've seen it a lot, and it worked.
Well, you've seen it a lot in the high yellows. Very impressive to do it here. Great job on the win today. It appears you don't particularly want to be questioned too much.
Honestly, give it to Whale, give it to Hawk. Like, I did my job, but I could only do my job with those players. So
Yeah. We were talking about Spearman's healing numbers throughout the game. 48% on Hollywood. Very
Yeah.
good play from the entire team, really. All around, none of your players really had a bad night.
Yeah, I mean, we come here, we pop off, we win the game.
Barry, do you
I think
have...
we took the division. Did we take the division?
I am not sure. You might be behind Tokyo, who was undefeated earlier in the year.
I'm pretty sure we beat Tokyo. Well, pretty sure Tokyo lost some that were not in division, so I think we won division.
Right. Barry, do you have any questions?
No, the only question I would ask you is who would you give it to then if you don't want to be player of the match?
Obviously, I have to give it to Whale or Arak. Ben deserves the player of the match. He does so much for the team, and it kind of just, you don't really see it, but it happens.
That's very, very sweet of you.
All right, well, I have one last question for you before you go. The question that we ask everyone who gets player of the match for their airtime. Is there anyone you want to thank, anything you want to say on stream?
I'd like to thank my mom for giving birth to me.
Yeah.
I'd like to thank Hawk for showing up. I'd like to thank Omega. He's pretty good.
Yeah.
He calls for things. He hits the big plays when we need him. Sometimes feeds, but it happens. I feed a lot. I feed a lot more than he does. I'd like to thank Misled Elf. Dude, he's kind of a whiz at May. And like we scrimmed We scrimmed one time before this when the mage changes went through, and he adapted really quick. It's
Right.
kind of insane. So yeah, and like I'd like to thank Ben. Like we're nothing without Ben's speed. Like seriously.
Right.
So yeah.
Well, thank you for at least accepting the interview and being humble enough to not want it.
Thank you for giving me player of the match.
Yep. You can just DC now. I don't have the. There you go. All right. So this has been Altitude Esports, Vancouver Tiny versus Toronto Deviant. I've been Cherry, and bear with me. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.